Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. In today's video we're going to be doing a quick review on the Corsair Carbide Series 270R budget mid-tower case. Now you can get this case in two versions, one being windowed and one without a window. This case does come in at $69 US and this case was just released a few days ago. So first impressions, right off the bat I can see a sleek modern design with buttons hidden at the back to keep the case looking nice and clean. The majority of the case is a nice matte finish, meaning that you're not going to see too many fingerprints unless you are touching the window on the case. And as I said, this is a mid-tower case fitting your standard ATX size motherboard. The airflow is semi-restricted with air being sucked into the sides of the case. However, with a lot of today's fans having better static pressure, it should not be too much of a problem. When opening the case, we can see that the thumb screws do stay attached, so the consumer does not lose them or misplace them. First looks at the inside of the case, we can see that there is a built-in power supply cover. This power supply cover has room for a standard ATX power supply with a 225mm clearance. This power supply cover is removable by drilling out the rivets, keeping it in place. This case does not come with rubber grommets, however, so if you want to try and hide some of your cables going through the grommet holes, this may become an issue to some. If you are using a standard ATX size motherboard, you will come into issues if you want to try and hide your front I/O cables. There are no holes for the cables to pass through, therefore the cables will have to run along the top of the power supply cover and plug into the motherboard. To some, this may look a bit messy and would certainly trigger some people's OCD. Looking down at the bottom of the case, you can see that the power supply cover has plenty of ventilation at the ends, and there is also room for mounting a pump down the bottom for water cooling. Moving to the back of the case, we can see that there are supports for two standard hard drives and two SSDs. The hard drives are screwed in with rubber, dampening vibration and noise. We can also see that there are plenty of tie-down points for cable management, and there is also lots of room at the back for cable management due to the massive cutout for reaching under the power supply cover. The bottom of the case does feature rubber non-slip feet, keeping your case in place, and it also has a removable dust filter. Removing the front panel of the case, we can see that it is connected by some plastic grips. The sides of the front panel also have some mesh in place to try and stop some of the dust. However, the mesh contains pretty large holes, so the dust will still seep in through these gaps. Now the case is a really sturdy design. As you can see here, I'm trying to shake it back and forth and there is no flex. The front window does have a bit of flex to it, but overall it is a pretty sturdy design. Now let's talk about fan and radiator compatibility. The front of the case can support up to 3 120mm fans or 2 140mm fans or a 360mm radiator. The top of the case can support up to 2 120mm fans and can only support up to a 280mm radiator. The rear of the case can support up to a 120mm radiator. Now the case is very lightweight and it stands at 460mm tall, 210mm wide and 509mm long. Now as I did say, there are filters provided in the front side slots and in the bottom. However, the top is left exposed, allowing dust to enter the case freely. Perhaps the thought behind this is that the consumer will be pushing air up and out of the case in this section, so dust is unable to enter. But when this PC is off, dust can freely enter from anywhere. Okay guys, so I've talked about the features and what is missing from this case, what is in this case that I really like. So I'm just going to sort of sum it up with my opinion. Overall, this is a brilliant case for its price. This mid-tower case does come in at $69 US, making it a brilliant case for those who don't have a lot of money. It is a shame that there are a couple of dust filters missing up the top, because I do feel like over time the dust can definitely seep in through those cracks. One thing I really do like about this build is that they have taken steps to ensure that cable management is perfect. However, they have skipped out on rubber grommets. One thing that did annoy me a tiny bit was that the front I/O cables will have to run along the top section of the power supply cover out in full view for everyone to see, because there are no slots for the cords to route through. But overall, I'm glad that they were thinking about the water cooling as well by providing some mounting spots for the pumps. One thing I also wanted to mention before I go, I'm not too sure if it comes like this or my case was opened before it came to me, but my case came with one LED fan at the front and only one normal standard fan on the back. So I'm not too sure if it comes like that that normally, but if it does, I feel like the fans need to be the same, and I feel like there needs to be more fans included because I only got one on the front and one on the back. That means I'm missing fans up the top, which normally don't come with the case anyway, but normally you get at least 2 or 1 massive fan at the front. Anyway guys, overall I love this design. Tell me what you guys think down in the comments below. Hopefully you like this video. Be sure to check out more guys. We've got plenty of reviews, plenty of custom PCs on the channel, and we'll see you guys in the next video. This background noise from the birds and cars is killing me.